George Christensen has earned a reputation as a straight talker and a fierce advocate for North Queensland. During the Turnbull era, he sparred frequently with his coalition colleagues on issues like climate change and same-sex marriage. More recently, he's campaigned against lockdowns and vaccine mandates. 12 months ago, Christensen announced he was quitting federal politics. Today, he changed his mind, announcing he'll run for the Senate in Queensland as a member of Pauline Hanson's One Nation. George Christensen joins me now from Brisbane. Well, George, many of your former National Party colleagues are a bit unhappy, to say the least, about this. Here was Matt Canavan this morning.
It is a desertion, Ali, especially the hard-working members of our party that have supported George for many years. All of us really only get into Parliament with the support of a team and hundreds and thousands of others. And, you know, just the other week he was telling those supporters that he wouldn't run at this election, and things have changed very quickly. So there's some questions there to ask of George. And look, I also think it's cowardly.
What would you say to that?
Well, thanks, Peter, for having me on. But look, in regards to Matt, look, I'm not going to retort with a personal attack on Matt or anything like that. I still consider him a mate despite that. The fact is, though, that I haven't deserted anyone here, Peter. My beliefs are exactly the same. All the things that I'm standing up for are exactly the same. I just realised that One Nation is more in tune with those thoughts. If there's anything that I've been traitorous to, it's actually been my conscience over the last couple of years, as I've seen decision after decision that's been made within the government really go against the things that I signed up in politics for. So I stuck with the LNP right to the end. I believe you have a contract when you are elected. I was elected under the LNP mantle. I stuck with them right till the end, right till the last sitting of the Parliament and a bit beyond, and then I pulled the pen. And so, you know, no one can really accurately accuse me of being traitorous and deserting and all the rest of it.
Hey, look, I am sympathetic to your view, particularly in the Turnbull era, particularly with the growth of influence of the moderates in the party. Sometimes I think the Liberal Party's left me, the Conservative in me, the woman who signed up to the Liberal Party philosophy under people like John Howard. But why not stay and fight? Why not stay inside the LNP and bring it back to its conservative roots and values?
Yeah, well, I for one wished you were back there, Peter. You know, your guiding hand might have made things a little bit different. But look, the fact is that I've had 11 years fighting within the outfit. In fact, not 11 years, because the first part of it under Tony Abbott's leadership was a fair bit different. I think something happened really for the worse when Tony Abbott got knifed, and we've now, well, not me, because I'm no longer part of it, but the Liberal and National Coalition threw the ballast of principles out so that the sails could blow any which direction the wind was blowing, and or should I say said to be blowing, because it's the mainstream media, the Canberra bubble we disparage, that says, oh, the wind's blowing this way, and so the ship moves that way, or the wind's blowing that way and the ship moves that way. You know, I think that you know, the problem is those principles just got jettisoned for political expediency. And I'm talking about things like the sign up to net zero emissions. I'm talking about not standing up on the COVID pandemic policy overreach that happened in this country. Things like that have really gnawed at our voter support. I cop it each time I go to an LNP meeting, all the people saying there, the grassroots members, why has the government done this? Why hasn't it done this? Why is it doing this now? And quite frankly, after a while, you get sort of sick of defending the indefensible.
Look, I have been there in Dawson on the ground with you. I know you've got a huge personal following. You're not running in Dawson. I know this time round you're on the Senate ticket. What is the Coalition doing wrong in Queensland that you believe people will not vote for them in the Senate? They'll in fact vote for you, given your third on the spot on the One Nation ticket. That's a big ask to get the third spot up on a One Nation ticket.
I concede that's a big ask, you know, not impossible, but a big ask. I'm in it because I believe in it, Peter, and I think that when people look, particularly those common sense Conservative voters, look at the message that One Nation is putting forward on a range of fronts. I mean, they're the only party out there questioning still in the Parliament this religion, it really is a religion, that is man-made climate change and all of the consequences from that. The only party that's seriously there now supporting the construction of new coal-fired power. These are the things that people in the regions want to see, not some pandering and sop to the inner city green movement.
Some of your critics today said, look, he's only doing it to get the $100,000 that comes if you lose your seat or lose your spot. What do you say to that?
Well, they're not saying about that about Liberal Party members who have been disendorsed, or what about all of those marginal Liberal members or even marginal Labor members that go into this election that might get a resettlement allowance? I think I was entitled to that resettlement allowance anyway, by virtue of the fact that the Dawson Federal Division of the Liberal National Party were the ones that actually said my nomination should not go forward. So this has nothing to do with that. It's a cynical view. It's a view that a lot in the legacy media, Sky News accepted, of course, I consider it part of the new media, and a lot in the Labor Party, they run with this line, I guess because they don't have principles. They don't understand it. They don't understand, joining up to another party because you've read their policies, you've read their platform, and you truly, honestly believe in it. I'm in this party now for the long haul, Peter.
If you don't get up this time, George, will you stick at it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if I am not lucky to be part of a wave of support for One Nation across the state of Queensland this time round, then I will possibly come back to the party looking at further opportunities to serve the people of this great state in the future.
Well, I have to say I'm disappointed you've left the LNP, but I've known you nothing other than being an honourable bloke, and you've got a big brain. So all the best, George Christensen, for the fight ahead. Thanks for joining me tonight.